and Jonathan Sacerdote stressed nothing which was featured in the clip, which also saw Prince Harry juggling outside the window behind the Duchess of Sussex, was there accidentally. The brief clip, during which Meghan is shown chatting to U.S. comedy actress Melissa McCarthy, was uploaded to the royal couple's Archewell website on August 4. In it, Meghan talks about her 40 by 40 initiative, intended to mentor women re-entering the workforce. However, Mr. Sacerdote stressed detail which many people might have missed are particularly telling, not least what it told us about the newest addition to their family. He told Express.co.uk, "I think it'll be very interesting to see how they behave with the newest child, in terms of public attention. Because they were very adamant at the beginning when they had Archie that they didn't like the media attention, and they did things their way even before they had left the UK as working members of the royal family. They were much more private about the details of the birth, and the godparents, and things like that. So they made it very clear how they thought this should work when it comes to their children, that their children should be left alone." Mr. Sacerdote suggested most people would be supportive of the idea that the children of famous people, whether members of the royal family or otherwise, should be shielded from the glare of publicity. However, he added, "I think it becomes problematic when you start to see people in those sorts of positions using their children for that publicity themselves, because then it becomes an issue of give and take." And it was noticeable that on Meghan's desk in that attempted comedy internet video there were little pictures, which were presumed to be of the children, but they were very much out of focus, so that you couldn't see them. And almost felt like a dig at the media and the press, because it was as if they were saying, "Here are the pictures. Here's the first picture of our new daughter, but you can't see it. You can only see it on our terms when we decide to reveal it." That's their right, but it was interesting to see that very carefully arranged desk, which didn't look like the desk of somebody doing much work, had those pictures on it and in shot. There was nothing in the shot which featured Meghan had not been placed there deliberately, right down to the small dog on a cushion behind her. Mr. Sacerdote said, "So those photos weren't in there by accident, that wasn't a busy desk with some confidential things accidentally in sight. We must watch and see how they decide to reveal photos of their children going forward, especially the first photo of Lilibet. And I think that people will have a lot to say about how they choose to do that, and I think it's unfortunate for children to be brought into these sorts of PR games. It's not really fair when they're in the royal family or when they're not." Prince Harry himself had struggled with the limelight growing up, by his own admission, pointed out Mr. Sacerdote. He continued, "So I do hope that the children aren't the ones that lose out or whatever happens, and that the press and the public gives them space and privacy, even if they feel that sometimes Meghan and Harry perhaps will be showing them their children in a way that's favorable for them. I don't think that makes it fair on children themselves for the press to go after them." Mr. Sacerdote also pointed out the choice of name for Harry and Meghan's second child was both significant and guaranteed to attract publicity in itself. Referring to their 2-year-old son, he explained, "Archie wasn't a very royal name." Everyone noted that Archie wasn't a very traditional royal family name, and, in fact, lots of people quite liked that because it was a sign of their intention to try to give their kids a life that wasn't necessarily defined by their position in the royal family or the succession. So, it is interesting that once they left the royal family in the UK they chose, possibly two most famous members of the royal family to name their daughter after, the Queen and Princess Diana. That's perhaps a little unfair. Those two people are members of baby Lilibet's family, and lots of us like to name our children after much-loved members of our families. So we can take it again at face value that they wanted to name her after two people they love that she was related to. Or you could say that it's interesting that they chose the Queen's nickname and Princess Diana as the two names to give her, because that may well attract a lot of attention going forwards in the future, and it may make it very hard for anyone to forget that that baby is related to Queen Elizabeth II. Additionally, He highlighted the decision to call the baby by the Queen's famous nickname as a child, as opposed to her actual one. He said, "There's only really one person in the whole world who anyone knows widely as Lilibet, and that's Her Majesty the Queen. So I think it ties her very much to that." And again, for people who said that they wanted to sort of shed the shackles of royalty, they chose a name which very much ties them not just royalty, but the Queen herself, for their daughter.